Hi, I'm David Tate. I'm from New Canaan, Connecticut. I've been in the customer service business all my life, mostly in the airline business, but I've always believed that in any business, your people are your product, that your people are what makes you successful. I went through life without getting sick, didn't have flu, didn't have colds, didn't have any childhood diseases, and then several years ago, the bottom sort of fell out, and I started to get all these kind of various ailments. Sinus problems that wouldn't go away. I got allergies that I'd never had before. And then it came to a head when one day on a Metro North trip into the city for a morning meeting, I had a heart attack. I passed out in Grand Central Station and woke up in an ambulance en route to Bellevue in New York City. I was there for 3-4 days and was allowed to go home. Then I went to see my doctor and he sent me straight to Norwalk Hospital. That's where I met a Dr. Sullivan who started to look at all of these different things that I'd had for the previous year and a half that no one had been able to fix.
We talked to the cardiologist, we talked to the ear, nose, and throat physicians, we talked to the pathologists who reviewed his previous sinus surgery, and anybody else who'd been involved with his care.
Dr. Sullivan was great because he had the time to listen to me, as well as the time, I'm sure he spent hours and hours poring over my medical files, which were plenty, and he started connecting the dots, and he came up with a very rare autoimmune disease, something that, to his credit, he had never seen before, that none of the other doctors had ever seen before, because it is that rare.
He had a number of other symptoms related to different organ systems besides his heart, which eventually led us to the correct diagnosis of a type of vasculitis, or inflammation of the blood vessels, which accounted for his symptoms.
I was put on a course of chemotherapy, and within sort of 9 months or so, I was declared as being in remission.
At that point, I did feel a sense of relief that we were on the right track in terms of his treatment plan, and that his diagnosis, after having been discovered, would lead most likely to recovery.
Having a hospital like Norwalk close to my home is incredibly important. Here, you're among neighbors and friends who have kids going to the same schools. When you can relate to the doctor who's got your life in his hands, it makes for a more comforting experience. I've simply never had anything but tremendous experiences here. So a huge thank you to Dr. Sullivan, to the ladies in the IV outpatient unit, to everyone who over the last 18 months or so has taken such incredibly good care of me here in Norwalk Hospital. Thank you.